Hey, SPN family, I'm Steph with Creation, and welcome to our super celebration of virtual experiences featuring the cast of Supernatural. Just a reminder that the top tipper wins a 5-minute one-on-one video meet and greet with Jake right after this panel. So make sure your top supporter information is updated with your current email address. To do that, scroll to the bottom where you see under the stated screen, you'll see where it says Top Supporter Rewards. Scroll to the link that says Complete Your Top Supporter Information. If you'd like to tip, click the green tip button just at the bottom left-hand corner of your staged screen. All right, first up today is someone who we've come to know and love as quite the baker and shaker, but we've always loved him for his work in Supernatural. Please welcome Jake Abel.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my internet hangout. Thanks for coming. This is my first ever online convention. So, be nice, be weird. I don't know. We're going to have some fun today. I got some questions of yours. Wow, you guys are really streaming in that chat. Holy cow. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. I know you guys have been asking some questions, which I have a few lined up here. So keep asking questions, and I'll try to get to as many as I can today. It's a bummer not being able to be with you guys and see you guys, especially for a Q&A panel like this. I know for me personally, when I travel to your cities, it's what you guys give us. I can't tell you how much it feeds me to be there live with you in person. And I wish that we could do that today. I'm glad that we have this, and I look forward to us being able to get close and touch each other in person. But until then, this is what we've got, and we're gonna do it. So let me start by answering. I see Jordana Maria asks, what characteristic of Adam or Michael do you most identify with or have for yourself? I like to think that I would have Adam's resilience and optimism. I know I said this on my post on my Instagram and my Twitter after my last episode aired on Thursday, that Adam, his ability to keep going when everything around him is on fire, I think is really admirable. I mean, he was a character who was, stuck in hell for 10 years. He had every right to be jaded and cynical, like Michael was, but he wasn't. He kind of had a good grasp on the situation. And if I don't have that, I would like to have that. But that's why I enjoy the switch between Michael and Adam. I wish we could have done that in the Inherit the Earth episode, because that was such a fun challenge and something I feel like people really enjoyed. And Richard and I really worked on getting that right, that switch between the personalities, because Adam and Michael were so different. And Adam was always just so much lighter to me as he got older. And I'm gonna miss him. So yeah. Let's see, what else do you guys have? What country do you want to go to the most? Your dream destination? What's funny is, a couple weeks ago, my wife, out of the blue, asked me if you could travel anywhere, where would you go? And it sort of became like our quarantine dream trip. It's like we can't go anywhere, but we can go there in our minds. And I realized quickly that she didn't say what one destination. So I started to put together my dream journey, basically. And the main points were Italy, between Rome and Florence and Tuscany, and going to see friends in Spain. But we would want to end it in Scotland, which I was just talking about Scotland to some friends in the meet and greet. It's a place that convinces me that fairies are real in real life, because there's such a magical, mystical feeling driving through the misty marn and through these Scottish glades. It's just the green and the dampness felt like home to us for some reason, especially out in Eriseg, just south of Isle of Skye. So I'm desperate to get back to Italy and Scotland for sure. and getting back to traveling in general and coming and seeing you guys all over the world. I think we have some people all over the world. I see a Scottish flag. I saw some stuff from Argentina, which I've never been to, which I would love to go to. Brazil's definitely in the house because Brazil is always in the house. There's a Brazilian flag. Another place that I haven't gone to, which I would love to. I haven't gone really anywhere in South America. And I know so many Brazilian people support me and are so positive and have been since the Percy Jackson days, that you guys, mad respect to all you in Brazil. Denmark, I haven't been to either. So yes, once we can all safely be around each other and travel together again, I look forward to coming and seeing you in your countries. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we got? How was the last day of filming? So that's kind of an interesting story. So if you guys watched the episode that aired on Thursday, Inherit the Earth, my first scene in that episode was the church scene where Michael, is in the church. There's all the lightning and stuff. That was actually the last scene I ever shot for Supernatural. That was my very, very last day. I think Rob had actually wrapped earlier that day, and it was bittersweet, very, very bittersweet. I messaged Eric Kripke the other day after it aired, and I was just saying, I thanked him for allowing me to be along on this ride, and I said that I feel like I kind of hitchhiked my way along, which was fantastic. I got kind of picked up and along the way, and I feel honored to have been a part of this family and this group and this really, really special show. But that last episode was so much fun. I don't know if you guys saw Brave Alecki. I think many of you have, which is my ode to Braveheart, which I think we have a link to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JakeAbelTV. There it is, right on cue. So we shot that. You guys will probably recognize the location of Brave Alecki in the show on Thursday, which started with Jared talking about caber tosses in Scotland and saying how great it would be if we could make it look like he threw this giant log. And I had just done Jake in Quarantine, which is also on the YouTube, so they knew I could do it. So we started shooting it in between takes, and he did not throw that giant log. That thing was so heavy that when he's lifting it up at the beginning and his arms are like bulging, it's because that piece of wood was so heavy. So when he threw it into the sky, I kind of hit this cut, and we found a stick that was this big, and we Jensen launched it. You can see the making of. Jensen launches it, and so like being able to do that with those guys, it's just it's such a fun show to make. Even with all the restrictions with COVID, we still managed to do the same dumb stuff we've always done. And I'm gonna miss working with those guys. I see a lot of Brazil in the comments still. You guys are an army, and it's amazing. What's something you're proud of but never had the opportunity to talk about? I really don't know. I guess I've been starting to do some work with some two great organizations called Actors for Autism, and now hopefully starting to work more with No Kid Hungry. I've been wanting to get involved with something bigger than me for a while, and sorry, I got emails coming in. But wanted it to be organic and didn't know, I knew I wanted to help kids and help kids in the arts, and then also now with all the cooking stuff. And I've been really lucky that these two organizations have sort of in the past 2 years come into my life. So Actors for Autism is a great organization that helps young people on the spectrum use the film industry for not only advancement in the industry, but also working on social skills. So like there's this great class run by Liz Fenning and her husband, Jacob, that use an acting class to help young kids on the spectrum develop their social skills as well. And these kids are like incredibly talented. They write, they play music, they dance, and they're the most amazing group of young people I've had the pleasure of being in the company of. So if you have any interest in that and would like to learn more about them, you can go to actorsforautism.com, I believe. I post stuff about them, and they're really amazing. So proud of those kids. What else we've got? Have you seen any of the pastries made from the Gish Jake and Bake Challenge? And if so, what did you think? I did see some. So I invited Misha on my baking show, Jake and Bake, where I made a get out the vote blueberry pie. And then he invited me to be a part of Gish. And it was my first time being a part of Gish for the Halloween weekend. And I made Pop-Tarts they were in the shape of coffins. I cut them in the shape of coffins. And there was like a red jelly filling. I made chocolate spiders on top and piped cobwebs. And the challenge was to bake stuff. And I saw someone bake a pie with angel wings. I saw someone recently had posted something where it was like a bloody pastry thing, and like it was incredible. Some of them I think were better than my coffin pastries, which is great. And I hope that my dumb internet show has inspired people to start cooking. That's what I want to start doing with No Kid Hungry as well. Is encouraging people to get inside the kitchen and to make things that they didn't know they could make, and learn about where their food comes from and how they can take ownership of that and make really, really amazing things in the kitchen to feed their friends and family, and also have a good time, and also curse a lot. I season my food with curse words because a lot of things go wrong for me in the kitchen, and I think it makes my food taste better. So let's see. There's talk of a Percy Jackson live action series. Would you consider reprising your role as Luke? I believe that is the Disney Plus series. I think my team has talked to the people at Disney Plus kind of in the early days when they announced it. Sort of expressing our openness to, even if it's not Luke, even if it's something else, to at least make like thank you so much for putting that link up there. Even making a cameo, or I would love to at least drop in. If not to be a series regular, I would love to pop in, because that series did a lot for me, and the fandom of Percy Jackson is so great. So if they'll have me, I would very much love to jump on and do some stuff for them. How did you learn to bake? I love that this is like a supernatural convention, but we're just going to talk about cooking. I learned to bake by failure, mostly. I've never taken a professional class to learn to cook. I don't know. I honestly don't know where it started. Just curiosity, and I cook like almost every meal for us in our house. Like at least breakfast and dinner I cook, and it sort of was just like a gateway drug of cooking simple meals and stuff, and wanting to know how to make bread, because that's one of my favorite things to eat. And then that turned into I bet I can make like cakes and stuff, and now pastries and pies are my new thing. So it's just been about curiosity, and also for me, I enjoy on a Saturday or a Sunday having a coffee and music on and the doors and windows open and spending the day in the kitchen. It feels good, and then the house smells good, and I think that's sort of the big payoff, because I don't even really have a sweet tooth. I really don't eat candy, and I don't eat a lot of desserts. And they say never trust a skinny chef. But so for me, it's more about the process, the challenge, and then feeding people is the real reward. As far as enjoying eating it is the last thing on my on list there. So yeah, I just like see something like macarons. French macarons are one of my favorite things to make. They're really challenging, but you can be super creative with the flavoring. And I was watching, my wife and I were watching MasterChef Junior, and these kids were making French macarons. And I was like watching and going, I could do that. I could definitely do that. And just tried it. And what happens for me is usually the first time I try something, I knock it out of the park. I don't know why. Like, but it's good. I need that because the second and third time I try to do it again, I fail. Just like fail miserably. But because I knew I succeeded once, that's what encourages me to keep going. It's a strange little thing that I've learned about cooking for me, that I can expect to succeed the first time, fail the next 2 times, and then start to get better. So I have a rule in my kitchen that the first time you make something, be as messy as possible and do it as wrong as possible, because you learn what not to do a lot quicker. And the next time you do it, like, you'll be so much more streamlined. So if you're in the Jake and Bake kitchen, fail fast, fail often, fail your way up. What else do we got in here? Who would win in a fight between all of your characters? Would Luke or Michael be more powerful? I mean, I think an angel, hands down, is going to beat Luke, because even though he's a demigod, Luke had no powers. He had flying Chuck Taylors. That was really about it. He could use a sword, but he had to steal a lightning bolt to even have that kind of weaponry. So I think Michael is the supreme badass. He's the OG angel gangster with a flaming sword. So I think Michael's gonna take the day on that one. Let's see. What was your process of finding the perfect switch between Adam and Michael so they were defined clearly for a viewing audience? Great question. So when I got the first script for that episode that Richard Speight was directing, I had just done a show called Another Life on Netflix where I played 2 people in the same scene. So luckily having done that, that was a great crash course. I felt really prepared to do it for Adam and Michael. But what I didn't get to do on the Netflix series was use the same body and come in and out. So I read the scenes that Adam would be coming in and out without doing camera tricks and split screens and stuff. That was a new challenge. So I was calling Rich every couple of days or whatever, and kind of like just pitching him ideas. And he went sight unseen until I was in Vancouver. I was just kind of telling him, like, look, one thing he told me was, I don't want to rely on special effects in the eyes, the glowing thing. He's like, I don't want to have to rely on that. To which I was like, 100% agree. I was like on the same page already. So the simple thing for Adam and Michael is just a little bit of posture, right? Michael's got the weight of the world on him, the weight of his father. So he carries a bit of a heavier load on his shoulders, whereas Adam has kind of accepted things Michael hasn't. He's accepted the world. He's accepted humanity as it is. He sees people for who they are. So he's for me, he's up. His eyes are lighter. Michael is a little more heavy and down. And it became as simple as this, walking around the house, just kind of, even Michael's register drops a little bit, while Adam's is a little more optimistic and up. And it's just that. I mean, you guys, I hope some of you are doing this right now in front of your computers, just watching me do this. That's all it takes right there, is something simple and small. And that's what we wanted to rely on, is a shift in voice and a shift in posture and something behind the eyes. And having good writing is good too. I saw someone point out, it's so funny because this wasn't in the script. This was just a choice. And I saw someone online be like, Castiel and Michael they knew what was going to happen, because, that's the scene I'm leaving Dean and Castiel. And it's like, when do people ever get what they deserve? And I give a little look to Cass and a little nod, and he does that. Someone picked up online, they were like, oh, that was a moment between them. That wasn't even scripted. That was just like being in the scene with these 2 great guys and realizing that there was a relationship between these angels, and saying kind of like, just all right. And it was like this nice moment that felt sort of justified and good. But it was great because some people started reading into it and picking up on the fact that like this was some sort of like foreshadow. So that was a nice surprise. So I wasn't planning on that. Because I don't even think I really knew how it ended at that point. You played Luke and Michael, who both had major dad issues. What do you think will happen if they have met and had a conversation about their dads? Oh boy, it's so funny. I've always pointed that out too. Of like, man, these characters have such daddy issues, and they handle it so poorly. They probably just talk about how poorly they've handled things, and they probably they probably wouldn't even hear each other because they'd be too busy whining about their own injustice and their own experience, because they clearly haven't learned. They clearly have not learned the lessons they needed to learn. So I think a conversation between them would be very annoying. What was it like? How was it like to come back on the show after 10 years? It's just like, I mean, I kind of already said this. It was an honor, and I'm thankful overall. I'm thankful that I got to be a part of that, because it's just a special thing, and selfishly really fun. Like, I mean, really, really fun to be working with those guys and to get closer to them, because I only really get to see them on set or at conventions, and so I don't get to see all those guys all the time. So I would jump at any opportunity to do that. What else? I wish I could read your comments too coming in, but you guys are like lightning fast. Oh, here we go. I know you're a Ravenclaw, but if you had to choose between the other three, what should I choose? I'm a proud Ravenclaw. I was very nervous when I just took the test like this year, last year. It took a long time. And I already forget my Patronus and my wand, but I'm a very, very proud Ravenclaw. And, but if I had to choose another one, I'll Gryffindor, obviously. Like, obviously. But yes, go Ravenclaw. We're the best house. Yeah. What's your favorite movie? This is an unanswerable question. I have my top favorite movies, and off the top of my head, and not in any particular order, they're Amadeus, There Will Be Blood, Paper Moon, Singing in the Rain, and Hook. Those are my top 5 off the top of my head. Amadeus, There Will Be Blood, Paper Moon, and Singing in the Rain are always top 4. Always, always, always top 4. Number 5 spot is a little more fluid. There's room for things to come in and out, but those 4 are my top 4, all for very specific and different reasons. But yeah, no favorite movies here. I don't can't pick. Which performance outlet do you prefer? Voice acting, film, TV? Film, hands down. When I got into acting, that's what my passion was. That's what I watched. I watch way more films than I do TV. TV has changed since then as well. TV now is movies, basically. They have the writers, movie writers are writing TV, and they have the budgets, and they can tell much more full stories. So that's definitely changed. But there's something about the 3-act structure of a film that I really sort of conceptually understand. And doing voice work, so I did I read Stephanie Meyer's new book, Midnight Sun, which is almost 700 pages and like 26 hours or something crazy. Me sitting in a booth for 2 weeks reading the book. I did learn I do enjoy it. I prefer it to be in front of a camera instead of just in front of a microphone. But it's such a cool world to have sort of kicked my way into, because it is tricky to get into that world. I've done 2 books. I also did Ellie Marnie's None Shall Sleep, and it's just like, it's something that people had mentioned to me that I should do for years, actually. But like I said, it's not like something you can just be like, hey, let me read your book for you. Even for Stephanie Meyer's book, who she's a dear friend of mine, I still had to send in tapes of me reading stuff, because it's competitive, and the publishers want to make sure that it's the right voice and everything. I find it harder to do just voice acting, because you are so reliant on one thing, and one thing only, your voice. At least on a camera, I can use body language and different things to convey emotion and express a relationship. You have more tools, where when you're in a booth in front of a microphone, your voice is it. That's it. All of your emotion, everything has to come through your voice, and that's really, really challenging. But I look forward to hopefully getting to do that more. I would love to do an animated series as well. I've been reading for some on like Disney Plus and things like that. I would love to see what that feels like. So I'm sure it's different than just doing audiobooks as well. But overall, film. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Nothing to do with Supernatural, but would you like to work with Saoirse Ronan or Emily Browning again? Absolutely. Saoirse and I have done 2 films together. The first one was The Lovely Bones, when we were but wee children, and the second one was The Host. And she's like a sister to me. Her and my wife are super close. She's one of those very, very rare, special people and actors who somehow have, I know how she hasn't gotten jaded, and that's because of her mom, Monica. She was raised right, and she's one of the good ones. And Emily, I don't know Emily that well. We only did a couple of scenes together, so I don't know her as well. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, I would absolutely love to work with her too. Just Saoirse and I have a deep friendship, so I would always jump at that opportunity. Are you an MCU or a DC guy? I am not even going to step in that one. That is a trap, and you know it. But Marvel, for sure. Rowan Chester, what was your favorite scene to film? I'm assuming you mean just Supernatural. What would be, of all of the ones, what would be my favorite? That's a really, really tough question. I'm trying to like just go through like the Rolodex of all the scenes. Maybe something nostalgic. Maybe like something from the Jump the Shark episode. The fight scene was pretty good. I didn't quite like putting my finger in Sam's wound and having to lick the blood, because the fake blood, which was supposed to be chocolate, tasted like it was awful. I didn't enjoy that part, but the fight scene was really fun in the house. And it being like my first episode there was really cool. That first episode was really fun, getting inside the coffin where they reveal that Adam had been eaten by the ghoul, and they had the fake eaten like skeleton thing, and that was really, really fun and really neat. I did injure myself on that fight scene though, I think, when I like blasted back into the wall. I hit my elbow on like the crown molding of the wall. It hurt really bad. But yeah, something from the early days. let's see, if you could do a spin-off of Adam Michael and one other supernatural character, who would you choose and what kind of show would it be? That's also kind of a trap too. That's almost being like, who's your favorite actor on the show that you would want to do a show with? So how about it would be Adam and Michael and Ghoul Adam. I would just play three characters. It would just be me doing scenes with myself, for the spinoff. That's what we would do. Do you have an ultimate director or actor, actress whom you would really like to work with? Again, it's like it's the long lists. I literally have a list on my computer because this is a question that I wanted to be able to answer just for myself. Funnily enough, we're cleaning out our house right now. We're like, you've probably seen on my Instagram and Twitter that like I'm finding old jackets from my middle school, and I found a bunch of Hard Rock pins. Like I'm just unearthing all of this stuff from the past. And so what's interesting, I think, is in this day and age, you not only have to clean your physical space, but you have to clean your digital space. We're finding iPhone 1s and like laptops that we've hung on to that are so old, and I have to like charge them up and like make sure that I've wiped them before I go recycle them. And so through this process, I was just looking at a picture of Steven Spielberg and I talking together outside of the I'm Number 4 premiere. And that was huge, huge for me. Growing up, being born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, like Steven Spielberg movies were the ultimate like cinema experience. And he's just, I mean, he's incredible. He's a pillar of the industry, and that meant so much to me then. And so anytime I see that picture, like I find it really inspiring. So I'll say Steven Spielberg because I was just looking at a photo of he and I, and now maybe that'll put that back out into the ether, and we'll work together again with him directing. He produced that film. That's why he was at the premiere. But yeah, but Paul Thomas Anderson, Denis Villeneuve, these directors are really inspiring. There's a lot of I hate to say female directors because they're just directors, but there's and I've actually had to work with a lot of female directors recently, which is good because there's definitely been a drought of that. But yeah. Duty future managing, tell us about future plans. Not right now. I did a film with James Wan, who did Aquaman and Saw and Insidious and all these incredible films. We did a film called Malignant together that was supposed to come out this year, but got pushed. That's really, really cool and really scary. And just the stuff like that I shot with the scary part of the movie is incredible. And I'm hoping it'll come out next year, but I don't know. That's what's hard, is like having these things, you just don't know when they're coming out. But so hopefully next year Malignant will come out in theaters or online, and you guys will get to see it, because I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah. What superhero would you like to be if you could cast yourself? What superhero would I want to be? I keep saying, speaking of James Wan, I keep saying that I want to be in Aquaman 2. I'm like, there's got to be something in Aquaman 2, James. Come on, call me up. Even if it's not a superhero. I really don't know. My buddy was Flash back in the Smallville era, Barry Allen, and I remember he got his action figure, and I was just like, man, that is the coolest thing, to have an action figure of yourself. So I don't know. I don't know what superhero I would want to be. That's really, really tough. I guess it would be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, wouldn't it? Okay, let's see. Did I miss any up here? Man, you guys are going off. I see Barry Allen in the comments over here. What's my favorite song of the moment? You know, I go off of kind of what I'm playing on guitar, and I've been playing a lot of Brent Cobb lately. And there's a song, "Keep 'Em on Their Toes," that just came out a couple months ago. It came out actually. I don't know if it came out, but I started listening to it when I was in quarantine for the Supernatural episode, and so I've been playing that a lot on guitar. If I pick it up and strum something out, it's usually that one or "King of Alabama." Those are his two songs I've been playing a lot. But I listen to a lot of music. I have a Spotify membership, and it's been the greatest investment I've ever made. Because like constantly I have music going on. We listen to classical music every morning because our Alexa has I say, "Alexa, start my morning." And it plays like all the news things and word of the day and this day in history, and ends with 50 minutes of classical. And hence Amadeus being one of my favorite films, which is about Mozart. What is one thing you had to learn for your character or your time on the show? I wonder if there's anything I had to learn for Adam. I don't think that he did. I mean, like I said, there were some fight sequences in the earlier episodes, but I don't know that I had to learn anything for him, unfortunately, because I love getting characters and films and TV that I have to learn something for. Like I did this film Flash of Genius where I had to use an acetylene torch to basically torch a car apart, like the frame of a car. It was so fun. I've never done it since. Wouldn't know how to do it, but got to do it that day. Learning to do harness work for Percy Jackson. I mean, we learned a lot of stunt work using harnesses. I actually have, it's called a full jerk vest. And it's a full vest and from that movie. So if you put some rope on me and you could pull me up a tree and I could fly around the yard. But I don't think that I learned anything to play Adam, unfortunately. How was the experience of entering Supernatural for the first time? Yeah, so when I got the audition for the show, I hadn't actually watched the show, but a friend of mine at the time, she was a huge fan of the show, loved it, because I didn't think that the show was for me, right? It's two hunky, beefy leads on the CW. And so I just didn't know what it was. It was like, "You're going to come over and I'm going to make you watch my favorite episodes." And I figure all "Oh my God, what were her favorite episodes?" I don't remember. I think one of them had the clown. So she showed me these episodes and I was just like, holy shit, this show is hilarious. And these guys are so funny. She was like, "Yeah, idiot. Everyone else knows that." So I had a lesson that day. She learned me that day. So then I immediately went from I have no idea what this is to I can't wait to get there and be a part of this. And it was exactly that. It was so much fun, a great cast and a great crew, and that crew has been there. I mean, I posted a picture of I had people sign my last script for Inherit the Earth. And there's Robin from props in the camera department. These people were there on my first day, and they were still there on my last day. And that's really special, guys. No show has that. So that first day was I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and it was great. Yeah. Did you and Jensen have conversations about how to portray Michael? No, not at all. No one told me to do anything. which I guess worked out, which is kind of cool too, because I feel like everyone's kind of got like their favorite version of Michael and these characters that have, used these meat suits. And I don't even really know if there's any of us that had any similarity crossovers just by coincidence or not. But no, they just kind of let me do what I wanted to do, I guess. What language would you love to learn? Ooh, I think Italian. I speak very, very little Spanish. I took 2 years of Spanish in middle school, and it's funny. Like if I'm traveling, like if I'm in Mexico, I'll find it'll jump out. So like, things will like it's in the recesses of my brain. Something will jump out. But I by no means speak it, barely understand it, but I can get by if I had to. But I think another romantic language would be an easier segue, and I think Italian would be amazing. Were you satisfied with Michael's ending? Kisses from Brazil, you Brazilians. Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said, it makes sense. It makes sense, his ending. I wish Adam would have had an on-screen goodbye, but that's okay. And I like to think that Michael did mean it when he wanted to help the boys, and it was Lucifer who sort of got under his skin and made him do what he did, unfortunately. But for me, I'm here for the story. I fight for my characters, but I fight for my characters to make the story better. And if him seeking his father's approval one last time made for a better ending for Sam and Dean and that whole narrative, then that's absolutely the right call. And it doesn't matter what I think. Last question time. If you could ask us fans anything, what would you ask? I would ask that you follow me on to my next project with the same love and fervor and emotion that you have for Supernatural, whatever that may be. Hopefully I'll get on some some cool tent movie, and we can all hang out like that for that in the future. Who knows? I'm not sure if that was the last question. Oh, I see. Well, thank you guys so much for my first online Q&A. You guys have been fantastic. I love you all. Stay safe, protect each other, and I'll see you in the next one.
Jake, sending you love and kisses from all your fans here today. And thank you so much for being with us. It's so nice to see you virtually, and we are looking forward to your future projects. Okay, guys, tipping is now done, and we're going to bring you the results in just a few moments. But first, make sure you're signed up on our email list through our website, creationent.com, and follow us on social media at creationent on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And hopefully we'll be able to come back with live events soon. We really miss seeing you guys so much. All right, our winner is Kayla Hammond. Kayla Hammond, you're our winner of the 5-minute one-on-one video meet and greet. That's going to happen right after this, right in just a few moments. So just make sure that your email address is updated. But just in case, hang out in this chat, just in case we have an issue sending you your link. All right, guys, we're going to be back at 4:15 Pacific time with the one and only Jim Beaver. Don't miss it.